Hey Insteaders, I'm back to talk to you a little bit about two things that really help you save money in terms of kind of not quite getting off grid, but living that homesteading lifestyle, but light. Two things that we do is cooking and canning. Those are two of our favorite things, ways to save money, eat a little bit healthier, know exactly what you're putting in your food, and like I said, save money by not going out to eat all the time. We do enjoy going out to eat at restaurants, but with various food allergies that we have, it's kind of difficult to know what we can order and how well the kids will react to various restaurants and their recipes. So we have found a recipe that we really like for Mexican restaurant style salsa that uses our own garden ingredients, well, at least for the most part, and is a fresh alternative to buying jarred salsa at the grocery store. The best part is that we are the ones deciding the ingredients. We can keep it allergy friendly. And because one of our children is allergic to the 3 C's, coriander, cilantro, and cumin, Mexican food is a lot of times a treat that only Benadryl can beat. So most of the fresh salsa recipes that we've found have cilantro in it. It's kind of a staple in Mexican food. Which does seem to have the harshest allergic reaction. So in this recipe that we have found, it does use a very small amount of cumin, it's kind of a trace amount. It does keep the flavor profile, but without having a harsh allergic reaction. So this recipe makes about 8 jars of salsa, and we can it to get it to last as long as we want to eat it. So in this video, Sheila will be demonstrating how to can with what we use a digital pressure canner that we got from Amazon, and she's going to be demonstrating it. It's night and day different than the canning that my mom used to do. That was an all-day process. This, you set it and forget it. It beeps, it alarms you, it tells you that it's ready. So the first thing we're going to do is mix up our batch of salsa. Sheila does a huge batch. Like I said, it makes about 8 jars in a very large pot. You mix the ingredients together. You spend a lot of time cutting up tomatoes, cutting up onions, cutting up green peppers, cutting up peppers, and putting it all in that pot. Heat it to boiling and let it boil for about 10 minutes. You got to make sure it doesn't burn. But it boils for about 10 minutes and gives it a good mix. And we use a immersion blender to blend it once we're done. While it's still hot, it actually works really, really well to can it while the salsa is still hot from the stove. So anyway, once we have our pot of salsa, we put some jars. We start getting them warmed up. We put water in the jars to and get them into the machine to start warming the jars up. You don't want to shock those jars with cold jars and hot salsa, or vice versa, so causing them to crack. So we warm up the jars a little bit and get them to temperature, and here we go.
Out.
Oh.
I need to leave a 1/2 inch headspace at the top of the jar. Which I get by that. And I'll wipe the rim. Put it on. Finger tight.
I need to leave at 3:30.
I'll put it in and go to the next jar.
And why do you have the water in there already?
It's to warm the jars to make sure that you gotta have your jars and your water all at the same temperature. And this extra water will be used to fill it up, because I'm water bath canning. The water has to come above the top of the jars by 1 inch. too much.
Too much in there. And it's important to not have anything on the rim of that because that's what creates the seal.
Yep, so this just has vinegar on it. Half is this third step up, okay. So hold
You're
on.
looking for the headspace to make sure that you've got enough room for it to expand.
Yes, to seal. Headspace is the trickiest part. Because you want to get as much as you can in the jars, but you have to leave the headspace. Okay. Wipe again. Wipe again. Into here. Stop and help me.
This canning tool has different marks on it for various 1/4 inch increments to allow for your headspace to be accurate in each jar.
So the reason I saved this water out of the jars as they were heating up is because you have to cover these jars with at least 1 inch of headspace above the jars. And I did not want to waste that water. So this is 1 inch, the top of this. So if I go to the jars, I need even more water.
So it's at least an inch, or
At least an inch.
okay. But more water than that will just take longer to can, correct?
Yes, but
So you want to get it as close to an inch, but just over an inch.
okay. And that is it. After the jars are packed, I put the lid back on. I close it. I close that. And it will tell me when it's done cooling down and they're ready to take out.
Very cool.
Let's see what I can find for that.
Don't know if you can see, but the steam is starting to come out of that. So our machine is set for pints right now. The size of the jar that you're canning in dictates how long you need to can them for, and it also dictates how much headspace you need in terms of water above them. Point to note is that you cannot water bath quart jars. They're just too tall.
Still pretty hot. Some of these have already sealed, and some of them they say it can take up to 24 hours.
That's where you hear them pop.
Pretty color is pretty on them. It's not dull.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
And there you have it. We have 8 full jars of thick, rich, not so spicy salsa for game day or Super Bowl party or wherever, whenever you want to have chips and salsa. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.